This video is sponsored by Skinsilo. Skinsilo is a rewards-based service where you can earn PUBG and CSGO skins by watching videos, using apps, and completing other tasks that will earn you points towards a vast array of in-game items. The Skinsilo app is available on the App Store and on Google Play, or you can use their website to keep earning wherever you are. Check out the link in the description and use the referral code MOSES to earn your first 250 credits. Skinsilo, a rewards-based service, not a euphemism for dicks. Hey y'all, Moses here. Today we are going to be revisiting on PUBG Breakdown one of the most viewed individuals on PUBG Breakdown that wasn't me or Krupadoop, and that's ChocoTaco. So Choco has been kind enough to provide another replay for me to review. This time we will be using the replay system similar to the one we did last time. I'm going to change some things a little bit, but before we get started, I wanted to talk about some of the limitations of the replay system, just because there was some negative comments on Krupadoop's breakdown because of the perceived issues with how the gameplay looks. So the replay system is not a true representation of what the player sees when playing. There is some differences between aiming and movement and vision and all sorts of things, because in essence, the replay is just playing back what is written in a text file. So events. So events cannot always catch the nuance of mouse movement, audio, vision, the lag of the server, desync, all these different things. So it might not look as representative of true gameplay, but it is a true representation of the decision making that a player uses, and that is what we are examining today with Choco. So without further ado, let's jump into the game and get started. So here we are on Miramar. We are following the plane's path. It is moving from the lower right portion of the map through the lower half. We will see probably a lot of players jumping through Leonis, Chumachera, down to the southern end of the map, and through Pecado. So we will speed it up a few points during the gameplay, and this is going to be one of them until we determine where Choco is going. I've watched a small portion of this gameplay. I've not watched it all, so it'll be my live reaction as well as analysis as we go through this video. We can see here Choco choosing the high-risk area of Pecado. Obviously, there are a lot of players coming with him. Knowing what I do about Choco and in playing with him from time to time, he does prefer to go to the casino, which I imagine he will this time as well. So we will be switching to the first-person perspective and staying on it for most of this video so as not to give away some of the other information that he might not be aware of. So let's get started here. So doors are a little glitchy, by the way. So he's managed to secure a pistol, looking immediately to the roof. So I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. In Pecado specifically, you got to assume that there's at least one or two people hanging out on the roof, because that's just what they like to do. So keep that in mind when moving around the casino area. Always be checking that hole in the roof for peeking players. So Choco looking to flank onto the roof here. Does spot out a player, unable to secure the kill with the initial barrage. Now, one thing to note here is that instead of holding the peek on the stairs, which is dangerous, Choco ducks back and reloads and repeaks the same angle, knowing he damaged the player a lot. The player has jumped through the hole in the ceiling and is now on the bottom floor. Choco looking now. Misses shots again. So this is something that's really important that you should note. Is that when that second shot misses, instead of just holding a close peek, he switches to his weapon, his secondary weapon, which in this case is the pistol, and then retreats around the corner. So we'll go back again here. So Choco reloading the pistol, tries to hold the angle, knows he's outgunned, and takes the defensive angle and lands the pistol shot because the player was already kind of injured. So good play there. Ducking back and reloading and trying to maintain distance against a shotgun, which is very important because you don't want to go toe-to-toe up close with a shotgun. So we will speed it up through the loot phase here. Huh. Good old reliable AK there, trying to land some shots onto one of the players that he spotted in the hotel area, but unable to finish the kill there. Still fairly tentative. No backpack yet for Choco, so looting might be a little bit limited. When you are limited in looting, it's important to kind of keep the essentials only, so grabbing the meds and whatnot. He does spot the player again, not going to get the headshot there as the player ducks back into the hotel. So just going to quickly pause here. When it comes to pathing around the casino, there are a few hot spots that you want to take note of. Obviously, over here, this little group of buildings and this kind of alleyways, a lot of deaths happen in this way because there's this office building, which is a very popular loot spot. You can see there's at least one player in there. This building and the buildings across from it. Generally, this strip of buildings right here is a very busy area. So really, the more time, the less time spent on top of roofs, especially on the casino, because there's just a million different places to get shot from. Motel, the adjacent buildings, some of the rocks, and as well as the office building here. All of these you want to try to consider when on a rooftop. So Choco here probably looking to get off this roof and continue to loot as he still needs a backpack. Now, I don't think he can see that guy in front of him in the arena, but Choco is looking to press the action against this guy in the hotel here, and he can hear the footsteps above him at the very least. You might not be able to hear it on your client through the replay, but you can definitely hear this player. So one thing to note, I'm going to pause this here and just slightly back up, is that if you actually switch and go to the perspective of the other player here, which is this guy, so I want to show you what it looks like from his angle. So this is what I call a headshot. I mean, and there's a few different reasons as to why. So I'm going to let this play just a little bit further. So in this instance, all Choco can see is the head. So that's the only target that this player is providing. So if you are this enemy player and you are peeking onto the stairs, you have to recognize that the only thing you're going to be exposing from this angle is your head, which gives you a very juicy target to shoot at. I would not want to peek this angle. I've killed players here 100 times. I've also been killed on this angle a couple of times as well. So try to reduce that headshot. Try to make sure that your head is not the only thing visible, because in this case, it's an easy shot for Choco. Little misfire there. This is securing some much needed loot here. Still lots of audio information going around. He just heard another player below him. So another player will have come to investigate, I imagine. Running up the same route. So that's the second time we've seen Choco utilize a good kind of defensive maneuver when missing initial shots. Rather than getting cocky with the fight here, Choco misses that shotgun burst and then immediately retreats backwards. So essentially what he's doing here, and I know the door shows is closed, but we know it's open, is what he does is he basically makes this player come out wide on this angle, which is really important. So again, you have this piece of cover here, which leaves less of a target to shoot at. And now you see Improviser here. He comes rushing in around this corner, and look at the size of Choco's target compared to him. Okay, so let's just watch this back just again really quick. It's the spectate client. Don't worry, chat. All right. So let's just pause this. So Choco's come around this corner. Now Improviser's chasing. Choco crouches and leans. Okay, so look at this. Look at the target difference between these two. Choco shooting at a huge target. and Improviser has, you know, a very small target to look at as well. So that's just good positioning and good movement from Choco. All right, so we are now coming back to Choco, who has just cleared out most of the Pecado area, coming through the arena to pick up some extra loot and check for enemy players who might have actually hold up in this area. So now he's coming out the front entrance, and we will rejoin the action here with Choco. So gonna try and grab this vehicle here. Ooh, doesn't that? Oh, you just saw the enemy out of the corner of his eye, and lands a fairly simple headshot onto a player who was peeked a little bit too wide. Now, the issue with Pecado is that as soon as that gunshot sounds, you have to assume that anyone in the area is going to come and take a look. So while Choco is looting, I'm going to let this play and see how the other players react. So Goodfellow comes to the window here. He's looking to see if he can spot him. Does not see him because Choco's around the corner. So that's that can be dangerous there, because ultimately, anytime you make noise in Miramar, you're going to have attention on your area. Goodfellow is scanning for him. He cannot see him on the corner right now. He's looking around, but is ultimately just, you know, more focused on the interior. There is one or two more players around. Scarecrow does not appear to be advancing towards his position, and Matar over there also kind of looking around, but ultimately no one has spotted him. Goodfellow must see Choco by now and is taking shots at him. So let's see how Choco reacts. Choco unsure where the shots are coming from. Might have spotted some movement in the window there. I don't think Choco's aware of where he is yet, not looking in any specific area. Goodfellow is pushing him. Or maybe retreating, I can't tell. With the zone right on the edge here, Choco is going to opt to leave. The classic honking taunt. And Goodfellow is left trying to chase him around the vehicle, or around the arena, and misses him. So Choco is going to make an escape here. We will again speed it up. So looking at the circle, pretty off center. Moving down, Choco prefers to move to the center of the map, where players will tend to gravitate towards. It's kind of his preferred strategy. So looking for cover in the middle of the map is what I would expect to see here. But ultimately, he has received some fire here and has decided to stop, as will we briefly. So he's taken some fire from a micro Uzi from this gentleman at this corner here. Choco, not one to back away from a gunfight, has now taken up a bit of a defensive posture here with the Car 98. A lot of shots coming out onto the vehicle here. Trying to land that headshot. Choco's a bit careful. This vehicle might explode if he's not careful. He does back up at the right moment, giving himself that necessary space to not get taken up by the vehicle explosion. Now, just quickly going to pause this here. You can already hear that someone else has joined this gunfight here. It sounds like this gentleman has also seen what's going on down here and is taking shots with the Car 98 at long distance. So Liang Guang Quan here has now got decent cover from Choco and the ability to peek him, but does not have good cover from this gentleman up on the hill. So we'll see how this plays out from this bird's eye view, as Choco's still putting pressure on here, but ultimately this guy is going to have to disengage as he's already taken a shot from the Car 98. So he's going to return to the building here, not able to do anything. So Choco, we're all now probably shooting at the guy up on the hill, or the guy at the house rather. Yep. So he's taking a shot from the Car 98 up on the hill as well. But he's got a med. So now Choco is without a vehicle in the zone. So not bad from a positioning standpoint, but from very few options to escape quickly. So he's going to have to take a fight here one way or the other. opting to push towards the houses, the only near cover that he knows might be safe, but he's going to have to battle for it. So let's see who he has to contend with first. So no windows facing him. He has to assume that the enemy player is in this double-story white building. And he now has received confirmation of that because he just heard the gunshots. Ooh. Might have been a good nade there. Nope. But he has forced the position there, so that's good use. So I'm just going to quickly pause that there and review that fight really quickly. So essentially what's happened here is Choco has thrown this grenade, which luckily we've just caught in midair here. So this grenade hitting this window, he was already out anyway, so it's not that big a deal. He might have heard the footsteps from Choco coming towards the building and has thusly jumped out to meet him. The one mistake this player makes is actually jumping across this wall and bringing himself across. This is another thing that I see very frequently, is misuse of the cover around you. So I'm going to let this play a little bit slower. So that grenade hits the wall, actually lands fairly close to this player who's already coming around this wall. So what I might have done instead is actually continued over to this little wall over here and held this cover, which is, you know, not quite the same. So if you hold this here, so Choco gives this guy one angle to fire at him from. He sees what he's doing. He's a little high on this hill, but he's only going to give him this one little narrow degree. Hits a couple of shots already, and all he needs to do is peek around and finish. So essentially just kind of forcing the player into movement here. The suppressor might be giving him some misdirection, but just well handled. A fairly simple gunfight, but well handled nonetheless. So Choco has not seen what the guy up on the hill was doing. He's going to scope out there and just kind of see what's going on. Cannot immediately see the player. Looking for the hero shot here. So he has received fire. I wasn't sure if that was farther away than it was, but he doesn't know where it's coming from. Might have heard a footstep there. Choco does have the wrong weapon out. Oh, no, he just heard the footstep. So he just heard the footstep on the corner, so now he has an idea as to how he needs to defend himself. Waits for the headshot. That's such a good play. So it was kind of handed to him by the enemy player there, but regardless, just holding that angle just kind of shows you, the thought process that goes into some of these engagements. If you're using audio information, you know that if you hold up on this little garbage pile here, he can't see your head. So all you need to do is just kind of chill. Choco trying to get some visual information, checks to see where he is. Again, every time he's in an engagement, he's not giving himself a full target, but just waits for the player to kind of scroll past this little opening in the wall and just takes the right shot at the right time. So excellent work again there. So like I mentioned, Choco does prefer middle of the map cover position, so he has found one here. He does not realize that he's got a compound mate nearby. In this little house here, he got himself a little camper friend. But right now, he's just, looking at the road because it's, going to be a high traffic area, looking up to make sure that there's no one up on the hills around him. You just have to be aware of all the angles where you can be shot from, especially when you're holding up in a house, because people might see you moving around and, take your head off if you spend too much time in the same area. So Choco is very good at making sure that he's not still for too long. You can't tell on the replay, but he's breaking all the windows around him. It aids in vision as it just makes the image a little bit more clear all around. So server catches up. You can see those windows get broken. And now he starts looking at the hilltops where players like to hang out. Oh, just spotted his housemate. Does take a headshot there, so getting fairly close to having his round ended, but luckily gets the first shot out and takes down a guy who is a little bit out of position peeking there, but might have just heard him moving around in the house and came over to investigate. So good reaction there, but ultimately another fairly simple kill on Choco's part. So as in previous games, you'll notice that as Choco progresses through the game, his gear gets progressively better. That's mainly due to the fact that players are the best source of loot in any stage of the game, early, mid, or late. You know, some cases it's too dangerous to loot, but really players will collect the best loot possible. So when you kill them, you get access to that loot. So something to keep in mind for those of you who prefer to play passive and always are concerned about your gear. So if you can take a fight, that might need some sweet gear, so keep that in mind. So we will speed it up a little bit again. So we are just approaching the top 20. We are still in what I would consider the mid game. The new circle has popped. Choco immediately moves to get the next best cover, which is just a little bit further down the road. I would imagine he's going to come down here. Oh, okay. Oh, we missed it. He's somewhere else. So he's in this little shack instead. Again, breaking windows. Nesting. Making sure that his roost is comfortable. And the ghost jeep slowly approaches. All right, so this is a limitation of the replay system. There is actually a hole in this door that you can't see. Choco is actually aiming just up the hill here and has actually landed a hit on low-key gamer guy who is now moving down this hill. So he does take a shot here. I'm going to watch from the perspective of him very shortly here. Running down the hill, trying to get safe. And Choco presses out, looking for that kill. Up next to the van here. So really low-key gamer guy is seeking some health here. Choco not able to get a line on him immediately. So he does see... Oh, I don't know if they actually see him moving down the hill. I don't know if he saw Warrior Breed moving down the hill or not. He must have, yes. So again, moving down the hill. Another excellent shot. Choco is really good at hitting long-range moving shots like that. Something just to practice, essentially. Now you have a late moving vehicle, which is very dangerous. So Wazach making a play here. Choco spots him out. Easy kill in the open. Not much to say about that. Choco might go for the loot there if it wasn't for the fact that the player did not have a level 3 helmet. The only item I would imagine he really wants right now. He's got an 8x, a Car 98, silenced M4, all the trappings of good endgame loot. Level 3 vest, just no level 3 helmet, which is the only thing you really want to have in these late game situations if you do not have it. Trying to get that level 3 helmet gives you an added level of security, especially moving through the end of the game. So especially in solo, it can save your life, and it's important to try and get those items where possible. So we will speed it up again, as Choco does have the zone, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of player movement near him right now. All right, so at this stage of the game, we have entered the very late stage of the top 6. Choco has a few players around him. He's spotted out Warrior Breed, who has moved into position across from him in the zone. A few players remaining outside the zone, fairly far away. You can't see them, but they are just above in this next compound near the floating fences. A+ game development there. So now Choco, again, looking through a door we cannot see through, so we will look at the third-person perspective here. He's aiming across at Warrior Breed, who has moved across into this tree line here. He does have a level 3 helmet here, so he does have at least that safety net for now. He does take a body shot there, has to back off and med, as you know, there's a potential here to get flanked from both sides if you're Warrior Breed. But right now, Choco does have the dominant position in the zone and has worked to get it by defending it from attacking players either by vehicle or by land, or sorry, by foot. And right now, he just needs to maintain this cover as he does not have any way to be attacked from above. However, the players above him are still battling for position and are going to kill each other off here. as Star Rise does win the three-way fight there, as ChocoTaco now looking at Warrior Breed crossing. But he's also looking to finish a kill above him here, as he does know there's players there as well. He's heard the gunfire, he sees the body, and now he needs to try and figure out what to do about the player that's likely approaching from behind. Because if that AUG gets too close to him, he might be in trouble. So Redlock has taken shots at Warrior Breed, who has gotten quite close to Choco. So right now it's a matter of managing vision. And unfortunately, he does spot out Warrior Breed. And he kind of steals one there as Star Rise, the AUG player from before, actually dies to the zone. Choco does see the zone kill a guy in the kill feed, so now it is a 1v1 situation. So Choco does not have the zone, and he does have a minute to maneuver. Remember, this door is likely open. We can't see that. He does press out and now looks to find a path into the next zone. He's just quickly checking behind him to make sure that there's no one flanking him, an important thing to do in an endgame situation. Because unless you know absolutely for sure where the player is, you have to be very, very cautious. So checking trees, angles, rocks, everything on Miramar, there could be a potential player. He does take a couple of shots. That's actually a good thing in this particular case, because now he has an idea as to where the enemy player is. And in a 1v1 situation, you absolutely need that information. So this is actually a good thing, because he didn't take a lot of damage. He still has lots of time to med, and now he knows where the other player is. So he just, or at least a general idea anyway. So the other player did have a silencer. Choco looking to gather that information. Maybe looking to bait more shots here, which I believe is what he's doing. He has spotted him in the grass. Level 2 helmet. And that's the game. So a few good moments in this game. I really like the defensive movement that Choco displayed on a couple of different occasions. I like the solid strategy of crashing the middle of the most recent play zone and finding the best cover available. I think is probably the most sure way to get your way into the end game, as long as you can maintain that position and not lose any gun battles on the way there. But ultimately, the one thing that sets Choco apart from a lot of these players, or most players, because Choco does often hang out at the top of the kill rating leaderboards, is his ability to react to player movement and to essentially make the right call at the right time very consistently, something that is very difficult for a lot of players to do. So if you do have a chance to watch ChocoTaco on Twitch, you can check him out at twitch.tv/ChocoTaco, spelled just like that. His stream has exploded in popularity, as he is a highly skilled player, very approachable, and generally all-around good guy. So I want to say thank you to him for providing this replay again. I hope this one is as successful as the most recent one that we did. Well, actually, most recent has been a couple of months. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about PUBG Breakdown, leave them down below. If you have any feedback, leave them down below. I'm happy to provide more replays and stuff if you guys give me some guidance on how you'd like to see these things get done in the future. I tried to mix it up a little bit more and show the player perspective a lot more this time around. Hopefully that was better than the last time out. So leave a like if you liked the video, a dislike if you didn't. You can check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/wtfmoses. Until next time, guys, I'll see you out there.